How's everybody today? Pete here at Spawn Fly Fish, ready to jump into another fun bug. This one's going to be much simpler than that last crayfish, but it will still be just as entertaining to tie. In the vise today, we do have the Ahrex FW531. And this is a size 12. The 531 is their sedge dry hook. And this one is barbless. The 530 will be barbed. So this is just some 6/0 black thread. 140, of course, would work just fine. I do caution you, don't go down too small on this thread. We're going to be tying in a little bit of foam. And if you go 8/0 or 70D, there is sometimes a tendency that it might want to cut that foam. So just be mindful. We are going to eliminate the possibility of this foam or underbody spinning, and this is going to be accomplished with just a kiss of some super glue gel. And then I've got a little shred or slice, if you will, of just the edge of a piece of foam. And all I'm going to do now is get this started on the top and kind of mash it on there with some 45-degree angle wraps. I'll wrap up to where I want that abdomen to stop, and then just simply come back down. All I'm doing is creating a little cushion area. So when we tie in our working foam and we bring that thread down, we're not just going to bare hook, because then you will cut your thread and your fly will spin, all that good stuff. We don't want that. We want to eliminate all those nasties. Well, this is how we do it. We just get in there, lay that foam down, and now you have created the perfect cushion. And this is how you should start your foam bodies. I'm just calling it. All right, so this is the full piece of foam here. Of course, this is 2mm thin foam from Hareline. I do have that backside or butt trimmed out just to give a nice little shape. And crickets, you know, this is going to be a cricket. It's not going to be a hopper, even though it's tied in the clodhopper style. They don't have a really exaggerated butt or anything crazy like that. So we just want to get this tied in straight across, right where the end of the straight portion of that hook shank is, and just be mindful of where your foam is. Make sure it's in the center as much as possible. And you can obviously get that out of the way a couple different ways. You can clip that in the back. Whatever it is you like to do, that's what you should do. We're going to be hackling this fly, and so I've got some Hebert Minor saddle hackle. This one's off of a unique variant, and the beauty of this is there are some lighter colors, some darker colors, some more grizzlied. There's everything in this cape, or saddle, excuse me. But that's not what's important. What's important is where we're tying it in. Meaning, you saw where those fibers start coming off the quill. Don't tie all the way to that. Give yourself an 1/8 inch of that trimmed out section. So when we come in and we dub our body here, when you start to wrap this hackle, it's not going to give you a bunch of fibers that go straight back right away. A lot of times if you're tying parachute or something like that, you tie too close to where those first fibers want to come off, you're going to get them coming off in the wrong direction and fight it the whole time. So that's how we avoid that too. Come back up to where we think the thorax will end and the head will begin. 2/3 of that is body, 1/3 of that being head. That's it. So somehow give yourself a mark there. Pretty difficult considering we have black thread on black foam, I understand. Do your best. Now we are going to start creating a dub noodle. And this is ice dub in black Peacock. When I'm tying beetles or crickets, this is one of my favorite go-to dubs. And I don't use ice dub for every fly. I don't use any single dub for all flies. There's a right time, a right place for the right material. And of course, you sub in what makes you the happiest. I'm basing this off of success and the way the fish eat this fly. For some reason, black Peacock in that body, and you'll see as we wrap this, it really bounces a ton of light, and there's a lot of great, color bouncing out of there. Those greens show up very well, all that, and we're gonna wrap. all the way back. Make sure you're getting all those thread wraps to cover those thread wraps. And then we'll simply work our way back up and get all the way cute there. There we go. Now, let's get that hackle out of the way just for a second, long enough to bring this body over the top now. And take your time, make sure it stays centered, and it's simply one soft wrap over, pull down. Soft wrap over, pull down. Now you can add a little tension, 3, 4, whatever it takes. Make sure it's solidified. And now we're going to create that little head space with cute little move here. One 45-degree angle wrap, one straight across from behind the eye, and then we'll make the opposite 45-degree. So in 3 wraps, you can separate the head from the abdomen and then just get in there and clean up that little head section. It's from thread wraps. So this is the part that it gets a little weird, has a different look, but by all means very effective. So we're going to wrap this hackle now over both the body and the foam. So if you get in here and you have too much tension, oh boy, you're going to find out in a hurry, because you're going to snap that quill. So be mindful. Maybe take a breath before you start these wraps. Don't have a lot of excess tension. So if you've had a stressful day, man, maybe this isn't the fly you try right away. You know, get yourself a cup of coffee or warm milk, whatever it is that calms you down, and then tie it. All right, tie this bad boy off. Pink, like so. Pretty buggy so far. We really haven't done too much. That's the whole point of tying the clods. Super buggy. So now, let me just make sure we're staying in focus here. There we go. That's a little better. I'm getting a case of bumping that vise ever so slightly. And that should do it. All right. So now we're just going to come in and clean all this hackle off the top. It doesn't do anything for us. Not going to support anything. It's not going to make it float any better on that side. That's not what we need. So we just eliminate it. Now for the fun part. Hear that? That's a stacker. That means I got some sort of hair going. And today I've got dyed deer body hair in black. Pretty simple. I'll come on top. I want to place this so that the wing just goes past the butt very slightly, nothing crazy. Get a soft wrap. I'm gonna give some tension, pull, flare that hair, and then once I've got it where I want, 6, 7, 8 wraps straight back. Get it butted up against that body where that foam ended, and look how straight up that wing wants to go. That's exactly what we need. And then as far as these butts, I'm just gonna get in, nothing real crazy. Just get them cut to the back side of the foam, and then we'll kind of mash it down and tie it all down with our thread. And by all means, if pre-measuring your hair is your thing, this is where you would pre-measure, trim those front bits, and then this would simply be a little spun head, a little bit easier to control maybe, but you do you, I'll do me, and we'll both catch fish. So it's all good. A couple more little cute fibers there, little hairs I want to make sure are out of the way. Nothing to it. And then, just like I said, bring our thread in and mash the rest of that down. One thing to note, where this head comes over the hook eye, that's going to be, you know, something you need to pay attention to, because if you get too far forward and you start crowding that eye, man, it's going to be tough to get that hooked or tied onto your tippet and all that. So just be mindful. Don't force that so that you can't get to that eye. Time to tie in this head. So we have a lot of black on this cricket body, and of course that's the point. But what I want now is to not necessarily match that body color. I'm going to go iced up again, Midnight Haze. So this is going to have a lot of blues and different pearl color that's definitely going to contrast against the black peacock in the body, and then of course all the black foam around it. So this is just one more way, without necessarily using a hot spot, you can again create that separation in the monotony of a solid color fly. That is one sure way to get the fish's attention. Not too many things, one solid color in nature. Just doesn't happen. Kind of slide that dubby noodle up to the body, and then we're just going to wrap forward. Get a bunch of nice solid thread wraps there with that beautiful Midnight Haze dub, and finish right back where the wing started. And that's going to give us enough bulk and strength underneath to get one sort of soft wrap over that head. Make sure it's straight over and simply pull down. That's where your pressure goes, straight down. Don't cut your foam wing just yet. Any of these little loose fibers, go ahead, get rid of them. They're not going to help tidy up our workspace there just a touch. Beauty. I'm loving this fly. I have fished this fly for so many years, and there's a reason. It's quick to tie, very quick. Quick to adjust and accommodate whatever might be hatching or you might encounter in a trip that you have in 2 days. You can quickly tie up a couple dozen of these, but they just flat out work. They catch so many fish. So this is a good one to have in the arsenal. I'm gonna tie some legs in. I've got some Centipede legs here from MFC, Montana Fly Co. These are speckled purple Centipede legs in size medium. So if you really want to get crazy and tie some size 18s, there's a size small for these legs. I don't know. Maybe in the good old days, I would have done it just to do it. At this point, it's all about, for me anyway, fishing the biggest fly I can and still being successful. I don't want to catch little 6-8 inchers all day. I want the 1 or 2 big fish per pool to come up and smack this, and I'll move to the next pool. Again, that's just me. So we have this really attractive fly that's very dark. Chances are, first thing I'm going to do is throw this against the bank into a shadow. This thing's probably going to be a little bit tricky to see. Let's add some visibility. This is simply parapost wing in fluorescent yellow. And if you can see orange better, please use orange. If you can see white the best, use white. All I'm going to do, fold that over. It's a single piece, and just jam it against that foam wing a little bit. That's it. It's secure. It's in there. Check our fly. I haven't cut anything off just yet, and there's a reason. So let's get a whip finish. Kind of hold that parapost wing out of the way for a second, and nothing to it. There we go. Of course, we, by using that thread in the way we are doing to tie down the head and all that, you see we get this kind of nice separation between the head and then where all that hackle starts. So it's just a win-win, I think. One thing I'm going to do real quick, I am going to cut this foam, and so just going to cut the basic shape as though I were cutting the wing portion for an Amy's or any other hopper or whatever it might be. Check my wing position, pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now, before we trim any of that parapost, let's get in here, and this is why I said don't cut everything right away. So I want this head cement to get right on those thread wraps. If I use the parapost and pull back, I can expose those thread wraps on top. Get that head cement exactly where you want it. No more seeing those, little telltale signs that look like sweat stains, because it's just your head cement sitting on the foam. It's not actually getting to the thread. So there's a way to make that stronger, and I just showed you. Don't cut all those materials off. Use them to get at those thread wraps first. Get your thread wraps all coated with head cement. And now I can come in here and grab both pieces since I simply veiled it. I'm going to give some upward pressure here as I just come to a straight cross cut. Do you see that? I can see that. Guaranteed when I throw that against the bank and it's into the grass or shadows, I can still see that little hot spot. As far as these legs, I'm just looking for that leg to go just past the butt, and these do. And that means I've pretty much lined up. I'm going to cut just barely any off of these front ones just to make sure they're lined up and call it good. And there we have it, folks. The Clodhopper in this variant of course, designed to get at the crickets that are going to be everywhere pretty soon. So hope you enjoyed this one. Again, one of my favorite flies to tie. Makes me remember, shenanigans and learning how to get bugs that work. And I think it's a fun one for you guys too. If you enjoyed this, by all means, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and we will see you all on the water.